Let's take a look at the prompter feature in Rundown Studio and how you can use it to show a script to your host during a live production or broadcast. Here I am in Rundown Studio, and in my rundown I've created a script column. In that column I've pasted in the script for the show. So for each cue there is a script for my host or CEO, and I've just pasted exactly what they should say during that segment into the script column. Now that's a good way to get started because you're going to have to get all your script into the rundown at some point, and I've added it here into this column. Next I want to generate an output, and this is a way of taking the data from Rundown Studio and displaying it in different ways. To generate an output, I'll go to the rundown menu, choose generate output, and then from the layouts here I want to choose the prompter layout, and I want to select a column, and we'll choose that script column that we created earlier. And I'm pretty much ready to go. I could share this link with somebody else so that they can use the script and the prompter, but in my case, I'm just going to open it here, and you'll see when it loads, I have all of the text that came from that script column. So in here, I have all my text, and that is what's populating the script. And what's nice here is it updates in real time as well. So if I go back over to my rundown, and let's say this first segment here is really important, I'm going to make sure that the CEO takes extra attention to that. I'll mark it all in red. And when I go back to my prompter here, you can see it now is all in red and very clear, screaming at the host to read this out properly. Next up is control. Now we have built in keyboard shortcuts and buttons as well in the interface so that you can control the prompter. The first thing is spacebar. Now pressing the spacebar will start the scroll, pressing it again will stop the scroll. Alternatively, you can click on the indicator here to do the same thing again, start and stop. And if I press go, I can use the keyboard's left and right arrows to go faster or slower, and even into reverse. So I'm just pressing left, 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 or right, 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 left, left, left to change that speed. I can also choose shift, right, left, and that will go a bit faster between the numbers. So let that run for a second. If you don't want to use keyboard shortcuts, no problem at all. You can always go down to the prompter settings here, and you can adjust the speed in there. You'll also notice you can adjust the indicator. So this is the position of that indicator on the screen. You can adjust the margin as well. So maybe you want a lot less text cramped together, or you want to do the full width. And then additionally, you can do the text size as well. So make it really big or really small if you really want to. Well, let's keep it quite big. Let's up the margin a little bit. Maybe that's too big of text. Let's leave the speed where it's at, and let's move the indicator up a little bit. You'll also see there's a couple of keyboard shortcut reminders in here and another start stop button if you want to use that instead. There's also a few visual changes that you can make in the settings down here. So you'll notice if I scroll back to the top that I have my background color and the title of this cue. Back over in Rundown Studio here, you can see that whatever background color I set for this cue and whatever title I add is being populated here in the prompter as well. So it's blue and that text is there, but maybe you just want to take away that noise, no problem. Just turn off the show cue details, and now you'll just get the text from the script column. You can also turn off this sort of semi opacity black that's shown here. So I'll just click on this, and that turns that off, and the text will just scroll off the screen, but in clear view. Turn it back on again. I can also toggle uppercase text if you prefer that. So all the text, no matter what way it's written in the script column, will be forced into uppercase on the prompter output. Sometimes people like to read that way. Turn that off again. And then the final setting is invert colors. Maybe on a bright sunny day, you can't quite see that black background and white text. So this is quite nice. It inverts the colors, and now you can see things a little bit clearer when the sun's shining down on your prompter screen. And a couple of final keyboard shortcuts for navigating your show very quickly. If I now start my show and maybe jump ahead a few cues, I can jump back over to my script here, and I can scroll down, and I'll see that there is an active cue indicator off to the left of this currently running cue. Now let's say I'm a bit lost and I'm not sure where I'm at. I can always use the shift down arrow keyboard shortcut to jump straight to that active cue. If I want to go back to the start, I can use the shift up arrow as well, which brings me right back up to the start of the entire script. And these keyboard shortcuts are mentioned here in the options. So that's a full run through of the prompter options here in Rundown Studio. Let us know if there's any more features or requests you might have, any questions you have along the way. We'd love to see how you're using it as well. So be sure to tag us or send us an email about how you use the prompter in your production. Thanks so much.